All right, good morning. It is Monday morning. Happy MLK Day, everybody. And this is Facebook Live. This is Brunansky's vlog. The Monday brand new episode has just dropped on YouTube. And now we are here to talk a little bit more about the weekend box office. Plus, we're going to take a look at a couple news stories that dropped, one of which may really surprise you. We're going to give everybody a second to get into this week's or today's Facebook Live, and then we'll get right started. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Saturday morning. This is Brunansky's vlog. Good morning. It's Monday morning. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeremy Brunansky with Brunansky's vlog. I've got my iced tea. I've got my iced tea. I've got my iced tea here. I've got the box office report from this weekend. Let's go ahead and take a look at one news story then that dropped this morning. We are live right now. We are going to cover Friday's box office. So for this weekend's box office, on these Facebook Live sessions, we do like to cover the weekend box office. So what does that mean? That means that this is pretty impressive, as you'll hear in a minute. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, so don't worry. In theory, that film should have done gangbusters. This movie is so much fun. I think the rewatchability factor is super high. Wow, this was actually a fun time. I'm on board. Sign me up. Game over. If you're watching this on replay, thank you. All right, let's just get into it. Number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. All right, we are back. Technical difficulties sorted out. This is Monday morning. Happy MLK Day again to everybody. This is Facebook Live. We are going to be talking about the weekend box office, so what everybody was seeing in theaters. Plus, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple news stories that dropped from the headline of this show. Star Wars The Last Jedi looks like it might have been a flop, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, before we jump into that story, let us go ahead and take a look at the weekend box office so we can see kind of what everybody was watching over the holiday weekend. Because as you remember from Saturday's show from right here on Facebook Live, we covered a little bit of what that looked like and how that could adjust because this is the holiday extended weekend. So more families getting out to see more movies, as well as possibly more even dating opportunities for the single scene out there to go out and enjoy a film and dinner. So let's take a look and see what everybody was watching. So take a quick iced tea break. All right, so coming in at number 5 for the weekend is Insidious: The Last Key at $12,450,000. Coming in at number 4 is The Greatest Showman at $12,500,000. The Commuter at number 3 with $13,700,000. Number 2, The Post at $19,300,000. And number 1 is Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle at $28,125,000. So overall, we do have a couple of changes to this lineup from Saturday's lineup, which we talked about, right? We were already mentally prepared to see kind of some adjustments. The big one that surprises me still is Paddington 2. Now, I haven't seen Paddington 2 yet, so I shouldn't be too surprised that it hasn't made it. But again, everything that I'm seeing online has been really positive regarding this film. So I'm surprised that more families didn't get out to see it. But if you're watching this now and you're like, maybe I'll go see it, go check it out. And then throw your thoughts in the comments below when you get back from the film and let everybody know what you thought about it. But yeah, that came in. Let's see. Where did that end up for the weekend? So Paddington 2 came in at number 7 for the weekend. So just below Star Wars The Last Jedi, which came in at number 6. But going back to Saturday's Facebook Live session, on that one, Proud Mary was in the top 5, and that dropped from number 5 to number 8, which does surprise me. Because even though the Rotten Tomatoes score, if you remember from that episode, and if you're watching this on the YouTube replay, I'll go ahead and throw that card up right here, and you can just go back and check that out at a later time. And that way you can go back and revisit what we talked about on Saturday for the box office. But that one dropped from number 5 to number 8. And even though the Rotten Tomatoes score, like overall, was bad, the audience scored it pretty high. And so I was surprised to see that more people didn't get out to see it, considering that word of mouth should have, in my mind, carried that film to a little bit higher box office earnings because people that went to see it enjoyed it. So I would assume that when you enjoy something, you talk about it statistically, right? That's what market research suggests. So I'm surprised to see that didn't happen as much as I thought it would. And then Insidious moved from number 4 to number 5. And then The Greatest Showman was in the lower tens. So it was either number 6 or 7, 8, or 9, or 10. And that moved all the way up to number 4. So apparently people wanted to get out and see this film. Again, I was just like, it's okay. Like, it didn't really like blow my mind. The music in it, again, feels like something that you'd hear on the radio. It's not very musically, like for musicals. It just felt like pop tunes. But hey, yeah, and they completely ignore history. That's not even, we're not going to, cultural significance, what's going on in history at this time. Forget about it. We're just trying to tell a fun story. So apparently it worked because people got out to see this film, and it moved it from the lower 10 section up to number 4. So good job there. And then The Commuter, The Post, and Jumanji all stayed in their respective rankings of 3, 2, and 1. So no big surprise that Jumanji's number 1. Again, I had a great time watching this. It's just a fun movie that is really well written. And it just feels like you're watching a video game, like, but with, you know, big stars. It's a lot of fun. So if you still haven't seen Jumanji, I recommend going out to check that film out because it is super fun, super fun, super fun. So go check that out. All right, let's move on to a couple news stories that dropped within the last, I believe, 24 hours. First one is, and I'll go ahead and, if you're watching this on Facebook Live right now, I'll go ahead and throw the link for these articles in the comments box below, so you can click on those. If you're watching this on YouTube replay, I will go ahead and throw it in the description box. So just go ahead and click that expand button on the description box. And then the links for these 3 articles will all be down there. All right. So the first one is coming to us from Variety. And this one, I was like, okay, cool. Why is this a big story? And then I read the article and I was like, that makes perfect sense. So the story here is that Clive Owen is joining Will Smith in Ang Lee's new film entitled The Gemini Man. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But why are we like, it's like marked as like an exclusive, like this is a huge story. And I was like, it's just a casting announcement. Why is this like a huge? And then I was like, okay, let's take a look at the article. Maybe there's more to it. And apparently there's a lot more to it. 20 years of history more to it. Apparently, according to the article here in Variety, this film has been in progress since 1997. 1997. This film has been floating around the stratosphere of Hollywood. It started with a pitch that was given to Disney in 1997. And now here we are. Ang Lee's going to be doing this film in the spring of this year. He's going to start working on it. The basic, I can't believe this film has been floating around for 20 years. That's insane. The basic, but hey, kudos to those people, because if you have an idea and you really feel like it's a good idea and you want to just keep hammering it out and you're not going to give up until what your dream is becomes a reality, high fives all day. Mad respect to you guys. I'm just shocked it took 20 years to get this film completed, but I give all the props in the world to the folks who are like, no, I believe in this and we're going to make this movie happen and we're not going to quit until this movie happens. That's awesome. That's pretty inspiring. So kudos to you guys for keeping on, keeping on. And then, so back to the movie, like what it's about. The basic one sentence breakdown, if you will, is the film, and this is just a quote right from the article. The film follows an over-the-hill hitman who faces off against a younger clone of himself. And it looks like they're trying to get this film in theaters by October of 2019, according to the article. So, I mean, this could be pretty cool. Will Smith, I still think Will Smith is an action star. You put Will Smith on a movie, I think people are going out. He still puts butts in the seats at theaters. He's still selling tickets. His name attached to anything is still a big win. So I'm a fan of Will Smith. I'm a fan of Clive Owen too. I think he's a really good actor who kind of floats under the radar a lot of the time. But I think this could be a pretty good movie. And I got to believe that with the people working on it have been working on it for 20 years. This is definitely a passion project. And now that it's going to happen, I think it'll happen in a really big way. So I'm pretty excited about it. Throw your comments below with what you guys think about the Gemini Man and the inspiring fact that these people have been working on it for 20 years and they're finally going to see this dream they had come to life. So that's super rad. Next up is an article from Deadline. So Deadline posted this article on the 13th, which was that yesterday? 2 days ago. And apparently it's looking like there's a possibility of another Expendables movie. Boom. What? Yes, another Expendables movie. Look, I'll go see any. It's Expendables. I suspend the disbelief. I just sit down in the theater and I cannot wait for explosions and lots of bullets being used and a minimal plot and thin story, but just awesome action. Look, I love the Expendables franchise. It is not a celebrated cinematic whatever. This isn't an Oscar contender by any means. These are just fun movies. Back in the 90s, I go to this all the time. Back in the 90s, there was, I think it was TNT was the channel at the time. And they had this special segment. I think it was on Saturday or Sunday, and it was movies for guys who like movies. And it really, all that meant was we're about to watch a lot of action, and there's going to be explosions galore and car chases and pretty girls, and it was awesome. Movies for guys who like movies. The best. It was the best. You could just sit down on your couch and just watch lots of explosions and people chasing each other, and it was great. I loved it. I loved it. And that's the Expendables for me. It's just these super fun, they're nonsense, but they're super fun action flicks, and I cannot wait. Sylvester Stallone could be 90 years old, and he could have a cane, but as long as that cane has a button that can blow stuff up, or he like uses it as like a cane gun, or he pulls it out and it's a knife and he can still fight with his cane knife, I'm there. That's all I want. I'll be happy because that, like, I have minimal expectation for the Expendables franchise. Just give me a lot of explosions, a ton of wasted bullets like the A-Team show. Like, I don't care. I just want more Expendables. This sounds great. I know a lot of people are over this franchise. I, however, am not, clearly by the excitement I have at this news. So I'm going to go ahead and give me a second. I'm going to throw the link for the last article and this article in the comments on Facebook. So 1 second while I do that. But man, sound off below in the comments if you're excited about another Expendables film. Are you even watching the franchise? Like, that's another big question. Because if you aren't watching the franchise, you might be like, I have no idea what's going on with these films. And I would recommend going back and checking out all of the Expendables films because they're great. They're not like cinematically great, like these should win awards. They're just great fun movies. And yeah, so give me 1 second. Okay, got those two down. All right, so now let's move into, let's see here. Where are we? Here we are. All right, so now we're going to move into Star Wars being a flop. Now, if you saw the headline for this Facebook live stream, you're probably like, there's no way, Jeremy. That can't happen. Well, hold on. I know it sounds crazy, right? I know you're like, there's no way Star Wars could ever be a flop, Jeremy. You are talking out of anything but your brain right now. And hold on. Time out. Pump the brakes. Let's listen. So Hollywood Reporter just threw up an article that The Last Jedi, not here in the States, not over in Europe, but in Asia, in China, crumbled 91% from week 1 to week 2. 91%, guys. Sorry. The headline is 91%, but in the article, then it changes it to 92%. That's weird. So let's just say 91.5%. We'll just find the happy medium between what their headline article says and what the meat of the article says. So 91.5% decline from week 1 to week 2. Now already it only opened with a $28.7 million debut in China, which is not great for Star Wars. Considering the large market size that China has for moviegoers, this is definitely not a good thing for the Star Wars franchise. Is it still making gaggles and gaggles of money in the States and in Europe? Yes. But however, China, with the importance that their box office has on the worldwide box office, this is not a good sign for Star Wars. And the fact that they had a drop of 92% approximately from week 1 to week 2 is really bad. That's bad news. So is it a flop? Looks like it is in China. I could be wrong, but unless the Force takes over and really inspires and motivates the people that are in that market to go check this film out, it does not look like it's going to bode well for the Chinese market. So I don't know, guys. Sound off below. I thought the movie was okay. Like, there's a lot of people online that hate it. Like, there's just, nonstop tweets and posts about how Rian Johnson ruined the franchise and how, J.J. Abrams might have to try and course correct things and whatever. I thought the movie was fine. It was fine. Like, I walked out of the movie, I was like, some stuff I really did not like at all. And other stuff I absolutely loved. And that's kind of where I fell. I just kind of fell right in the middle. There's people that love the movie too. And that's great. All film is subjective. Art is subjective. You could like a song and the person sitting next to you could hate that song. It is what it is. That's part of life. So, but look, these 92% drop is, that's a big hit. Now, obviously, Star Wars hasn't really had the social importance that it has here in the States, right? Because I believe, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, fact check me in the comments below. But I believe that Star Wars it started here in 1977 in the States. I don't think it got to China until the 90s. I could be wrong on that. But I think the new one, the 1977 A New Hope, the first one, like that released here, I don't think made it to China like officially until the 90s. So it hasn't really had the longevity and the life shelf that it has here. So it's possible that, it's going to take some more time before, that movie going audience really just embraces Star Wars, but they may not. Like I said, people like different things, different strokes for different folks. So that's the way it goes. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Is Star Wars a doomed franchise in the China movie marketplace? Throw your comments below. Let me know. Because right now, these signs are pointing to negative times ahead, in my opinion, for the Star Wars franchise. So give me 1 second. I'm going to throw that article in the comments section below as well. And that way you guys can check it out again. That was Hollywood Reporter, Variety, and Deadlines. Give me 1 second. I just accidentally posted the same one twice. What? Craziness. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the right one this time, I promise. There we go. All right, so we have a couple things coming up that are looking pretty good as far as movie going is concerned. But one in particular, I just want to mention before we sign off. And let me refresh the page here before I do that, just to make sure that we don't have any additional comments or questions that we need to get to here. 1 second. All right, so we're looking pretty good. All right. So before we sign off, I just wanted to let everybody know that Sundance Film Festival is coming up. So I'm pretty excited to see kind of like what the response is from everybody that's going as far as like movies and everything else is concerned from Sundance. That kicks off, today's the 15th, the 18th, I believe, is what I wrote down. So that's like 3 days away. So we'll be getting a lot of movie news and everything else coming out of Sundance. So I'm pretty excited about that to kind of see like what the initial response is for some of these films. Because some of the films that drop at Sundance, like those can be films that can be considered Oscar contenders for next year. So we can get some early buzz maybe on that. Pretty excited to hear kind of like what everybody thinks about the films that they see while they're there. So fingers crossed that everybody that goes to Sundance has a really positive time. And the films that they get to see are all just big home runs, knock it out of the park. So thank you guys so much. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Again, happy MLK Day to everybody that's watching. Hope you guys enjoy your holiday, your long holiday weekend. I hope you guys are able to get out to check out some of the movies that we talked about. on this show, as well as on Monday, or on the earlier show today, the brand new episode that dropped this morning. And if you guys are seeing any of the films, don't forget to comment below. Leave your thoughts after you see them so we can share in your enjoyment or share in your thoughts about why you didn't enjoy the films you saw. And we can keep that conversation going. All right, everybody, I am going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching us live here on Facebook. If you guys are watching us on the YouTube replay, thank you so much as well. Hope everybody, again, has a fantastic weekend. And I hope you guys are able to spend your time with friends, family, and loved ones. All right, everybody, I'm getting out of here. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog on Facebook Live. We will see you next Monday on YouTube for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky, and you've just finished watching a Facebook Live replay. Now, if you enjoyed that, you may also want to check out the weekly show playlist, as well as the movie news playlist, which covers just the news segments from every Monday's episode. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe. We'll see you guys next Monday right here on YouTube for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog at 10 a.m. PST. Have a great week. Take care.